Bit breezy out this morning. Yeah, cool. A light breeze by Nevada standards. Time for the morning brew. So yesterday we made it from the Giant Loop Rally in Crane Springs down here to Knott Creek Reservoir, taking some interesting backcountry routes, Oregon Backcountry Discovery Route, and a few others, while we patiently wait for Jenny to get the XR400 started in the morning. And then today we're gonna head out towards the Pearl Cabin and the back way to Summit Reservoir, down towards Soldier Meadows number 2 airstrip, and get into the Fly Wagon slide and enter the High Rock Canyon. From the High Rock Canyon, work our way down towards Gerlach, maybe through the Granite Mountains. And then one more night and then home. So about 1,200 miles so far. Should be close to 1,500 miles by the time we're done. Sleeping out every night. How's that going, Jenny Morgan? I think she'll bring them through. Ah, success! So here's some highlights from that ride. Check it out. Over here on the west side of the Steens Mountains. Great track off of the pavement. Nothing around. Frenchglen ahead, about 20 miles. Off down the mountain to Frenchglen down below. One more fence. Jenny usually takes the lead because she's got the GPS tracks. But I just got a map. The bop down to Frenchglen. Great GPS route. Here in Frenchglen in eastern Oregon, another one of these great outposts, backcountry outposts, critical for fuel range considerations. Fuel is available, and more importantly, coffee and espresso here at the Mercantile Blitzen Coffee Shop, and of course the famous Frenchglen Hotel right down there for lodging and breakfast and dinner meals as well. And that's the entire town of Frenchglen. Very famous for bird watchers, and of course it's the home of the beginning of the Steens Loop Road, located right there, which will take you up on the west side of the Steens Mountains, right over there. But of course, right now at this date, beginning of June, the gates are closed due to the snow. But you can get pretty far up there. That Steens Loop is a beautiful, beautiful gravel road loop. You've got to see it. Instead of riding all the way up there, it's closed for the snow. Let me tell you, here's what it looks like up there in the Steens Mountains. Get the postcard here at the store. It's beautiful up there. Now we're coming down from Frenchglen and taking a cut, staying on the west side of the Steens Mountains to hook up with the Oregon Backcountry Discovery Route over Domingo Pass, I think it is, and into Fields, Oregon. The back way. These roads just go on forever. Whew! Wrecking a little 4-mile cutoff over to the Oregon Backcountry Discovery Route. Should go right up over that pass there. Got a rocky back there. Yeah, this is gonna work good. Ooh, that looks steep. trails out there. Right up to the top. Piece of piss. Fruity, eh?
Amazing.
Second gear. Lost trails. I thought it was just 4 miles. Keeps going. Looks like it gets up over that pass. Correction, that is the BDR, Oregon BDR. A good example of what these BDR routes look like. Oregon BDR, big bike friendly. Not quite as rocky and gnarly as some of the ranch trails we've been on. So Domingo Pass is way over there now. We got to get across Rincon Flat down there. So about 12 crow miles to Domingo Pass. Fields is over and up a little bit to the north of that. Just barely see Jenny out there on the horizon, but that's the south end of the Steens Mountains and the snow over there. And these are the Pueblo Mountains outside of Fields and Denio. We're looking at the west side of them. Rincon Flat down ahead. And that B-24 crash, Propeller Meadows, is way down there on the south end of the Pueblo Mountains. On the west side of them, down by opposite Denio. It was a night training mission during World War II, B-24 crew, and they goofed up the altitude on the approach, and they just missed the top of the mountains down there, just by a couple hundred feet. Trying to get into Denio, which had an airfield at the time. Just a couple more switchbacks to go. Domingo Pass. Right back there. Just enough wind to keep the dust off the trails. Domingo Pass. Looking west. Looking east. One thing about adventure riding, as opposed to flying, I don't have to worry so much about the weather. See the way those clouds are getting torn into lenticulars? This would be miserable flying conditions here today as this weather front passes by and produces all these winds. The east side of Domingo Pass, Fields, Oregon, right up the street here a bit. Home of the world's famous milkshakes, where you can fly in to eat. Breaking news update from Field Station. This is the last raspberry milkshake that will ever be sold here at Field Station. They will not be able to get the raspberry mix anymore for this particular milkshake. However, they got still a wide variety of other milkshakes, making this the world's greatest milkshake destination in the middle of nowhere. Field Station, Eastern Oregon. See you here. Field Station in Eastern Oregon is another critical backcountry outpost, one of the few places you can get gas in the area. Between here and Denio's apparently got fuel these days. That's only 20 miles to the south. But if you're heading anywhere north, you better get your gas here. Just on the southern end of the Algea Desert. And the world's greatest. What do they got, the world's greatest, Jenny?
Milkshakes.
Milkshakes.
Yes.
Gotta do it. Oh, and they got lodging too. Are you guys staying at the lodging? You guys staying here at the lodging?
Yeah.
Yeah, lodging right there. If you don't want to camp out. So Ken here did some Oregon BDR and some Idaho BDR. And what have you done on your motorbikes? You've downsized significantly, right?
Right.
So what
So
from what to
last
what?
year, he weighed 615 pounds,
Whew.
fully loaded without him being on the bike. I probably weighed it a little more than him.
And that was which bikes did you have at the time?
KLR 650
And
and a 700 Tenere.
now what do you got
Yamaha.
now?
And now I've got a 300, and he's got a 701, but it's a Husqvarna.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so we weighed before we did this, and he weighed 400 pounds, and I weighed 410. I'm still carrying a couple of extra stuff that I'm not going to be carrying for the Idaho.
See?
But we dropped 200 pounds off of our bikes.
There you go. Go faster, farther, lighter. Smaller
Yeah.
bikes is the answer. Not those giant bikes on these backcountry
Yeah.
discovery routes.
So
And here at Fields, of course, is where you can land your airplane on the highway right back over there, the straight part, taxi under these wires, and taxi up to here and get fuel for your airplane at Fields. That's where me and Pete did that a few years ago on that video. Then when you go to take off, you can have somebody spot the traffic for you. But when you turn that corner, it's a straight shot, and you can see if there's any traffic coming for your takeoff. Denio has fuel now, so that makes exploring between here and Gerlach a lot easier. So the only other place to get gas between here and Gerlach, Nevada. And the restaurant's usually open as well. Denio, Nevada. Right on the Oregon border. Oregon, right up there. The road up to Knott Creek Reservoir, up in these mountains. Onion Valley Reservoir in the Pine Forest Range, south of Denio. The fish are jumping, but they're small here. 7,000 feet. Big climb up to here. So Denio's way back around the corner there. We had to climb up 3,000 feet to here. We're up to 7,000 foot elevation. Knott Creek Reservoir, home of the tiger trout. There's a bunch of fishermen camped over there. Let's go get a fish report.